Hey everybody, it's Uncle Frank, and it's a Sunday, which means it's time for my weekly check-in update video with you guys. I actually have a little list of topics to discuss today so that I'm not just sitting here reminding you guys that yes, I am still alive, and yes, I still do push-ups, and yes, I still love bulk. First off, let's talk about Deadpool. At the very start of the week, the Deadpool secret, I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, because it was for April Fool's. The Deadpool secret layer was surprise dropped on us. And you were allowed to, I think the maximum purchase per version, foil and non-foil, was 3. I entered the queue and I actually, I did buy some. Now, whether or not I'm going to hold on to them because it's a product I think might be worth holding on to versus just selling them right away for a small profit. I don't know. On one hand, I still despise, as a player, as a fan of Magic, I still despise Universes Beyond, and I hate the product line, all that jazz. But as a store, the fact that I was able to buy some and actually get them shipped out means it's just nice inventory to have, and, you know, don't spit in the hand of the guy trying to hand you money, is what I'm trying to say. There's probably a better phrase for that. I'm just not smart enough to know it. But I wasn't here to talk about the fact that I bought Deadpool Secret Layers. In fact, I'm here to talk about the difference between buying from Wizards of the Coast and buying from Pokemon. There's a lot of traffic outside right now. A lot of traffic outside right now. So, a while back, not too long ago, less than 2 weeks ago, the pre-orders for Destined Rivals, ETBs. Seriously, what the hell is going on up there? A while back, the pre-orders for the Destined Rivals ETBs went live on the Pokemon Center, and if you tried to enter their website to make a purchase, it would put you in a queue. Similarly, with the Deadpool Secret Layer, if you wanted to actually buy them, you had to enter a queue. What a fun word. Queue. Queue. It's a great word. I love it. So here's the thing. I tried to buy both of these products. I am, after all, a sucker for FOMO. I knew that Destined Rivals would be a hot product, and I knew that Deadpool would be a hot product. So, of course, I tried to buy both of these as they came out, and here's the thing. The Pokemon Company is, without a doubt, a more well-known, larger company than Wizards of the Coast. In fact, they have their own dedicated storefront online digitally, whereas Wizards of the Coast only really sells specialty products like Secret Layers on not even their own storefront. It's not on the main Wizards website. So with that in mind, you would think that the Pokemon Company, which is undoubtedly a larger, at least in terms of value, it's a larger valued company, you'd think that they would have the better buying experience. But that was not the case. You see, for the Destined Rivals pre-order, I was in that queue for about 4 hours. And I say about 4 hours because I kept getting kicked out of the queue. The page kept refreshing, and I had to keep hopping back into the queue every so often. And that wasn't my browser or anything, because it just seemed like the software they were using to keep you in time wasn't working. I don't know. It felt like it wasn't working right, because I kept getting booted out and having to reload the page to try to hop back in the queue, and I ended up not buying any Destined Rivals. Now, I was in the Deadpool queue for a while, too, about an hour. But at the end of the day, I was in the Pokemon queue here in the garage, which has its own access to Wi-Fi. It's not struggling to connect to the internet. And I got booted out of that queue several times. For the Deadpool queue, I was in there for an hour, and during that hour, I was actually out and about walking around with no connection to the internet. I was relying on spotty cellular data to try and make that purchase. And I was certain that I wouldn't be able to get any Deadpool stuff because I thought I was going to get kicked out of the queue a lot. That didn't happen. And I just wanted to say that's a pretty interesting experience where the objectively larger company did a worse job at satisfying customer demand. That's just all I wanted to say there. And next up, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have some more dead TCGs coming in. I made a purchase a while back. One of the guys on a live stream I was doing back when I was doing live streams, he had mentioned a Battle Cards TCG, which is I'm not going to talk about it too much. Just know that it's, the moment I looked into it, I was instantly in love with the concept. I originally tried buying a box-ish a while back, but the guy canceled the order on me, so whatever. But I've got some of that. I've got some Mythos coming in. Finally, actually have ship tracking numbers for the items. So I'm going to be talking about those at some point in the near future. Those are on my to-do list. And it's not like I need more dead TCGs. I still have a fat stack of them over there, but Mythos is a card game that I'm actually a huge fan of. I really like it. It's just that I don't actually own any. All the Mythos cards I play with are owned by a friend. And I only get to see them like once or twice a year, so it's whatever. So I'm getting some of that in. I'm getting some battle cards in, and I hope you guys enjoy those videos when I make them. Speaking of videos, I'm sure you guys saw earlier today, I'm trying out a new kind of video for this channel over on Lore Seeker. I try to do daily shorts flavor text of the day, where I just cover a card and its flavor text and let you guys know what I think. But on this channel, I'm going to try something different, just talking about my Pokemon pickups of the week. Just where I go over the small, cheap cards I grab every week to add to a particular binder. And if that's content you guys want to see more of, do let me know. Because, like with all things, it's important to get fan or viewer feedback and just to see what works, you know? And speaking of potential videos, I do buy from people. You know, usually it's just bulk, but occasionally I'll buy someone's binder or their deck or whatever. And I've been curious to know if you guys are at all interested in seeing just some of the collections I buy or some of the bulk piles I buy. I can't promise those videos will be too entertaining because try as hard as I might, I actually don't know the value of a lot of cards off the top of my head. There's 4 card games that come through here fairly regularly, and I'm not going to memorize all of the cards individually. But I figured it might be fun to show off just some of the things I've been purchasing throughout the week. Like, I just got a nice binder in here full of Dragon Ball Super cards, which I wasn't going to buy, but I don't know. Had some Yu-Gi-Oh cards in it, too. That was fun. Now, let me know what you guys think about that idea. But finally, and I want to just wrap this video up, so get rid of that. I want to give very brief thoughts on the Switch 2. I left the Switch 2 out of my Nintendo console review video from the other day, primarily because I have not played it. And I don't think that I'm going to be playing it anytime soon. I don't think I'm going to be buying a Switch 2. I don't think I'm going to... At the very least, I'm not going to buy it firsthand. If I buy one, it's going to be secondhand. And if I buy it, it's going to be for the same reason I bought the PlayStation 4. For those of you who don't know, I bought the PlayStation 4 just to play Bloodborne. I'm not making that up. I really liked Bloodborne's aesthetic. I played it at a friend's house, fell in love with the game instantly, and went out like a month later to buy a PS4 just to get Bloodborne. And I have a few other PS4 games now, but Bloodborne was the reason I picked up that console. And Bloodborne 2, or whatever they're calling it, like Dread Blood or Born Blood, I forget the actual title. Don't yell at me. That's going to be the only reason I would play the Switch 2, because while I was initially sort of excited for a Switch 2, the more I looked into it, the more disgusting it seemed from a purely business standpoint. I don't like the fact that I really don't like the fact that the game cartridges don't have the actual games. It's a key. The physical cart doesn't have the game on it anymore. I hate that. I cannot stress enough how important physical game media is. And it's not like, oh, some of the cartridges don't have the games on it. No, it sounds like the majority of the Switch 2's game carts won't have the actual games on them. They'll just be download keys. You'll have to download the games onto a system with very limited memory. So you're going to be able to have like 4 or 5 games on the Switch 2 at any one time. I think I have more than 4 or 5 Switch games. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got like 12 Switch games up there. So if this was a Switch 2 situation, I would have to delete a game and then re-download a game that I want to try every like few weeks. That'd be crazy. You could not catch me doing that. This is not I'm not going to do a whole video breakdown on digital versus physical media. But I'm just going to say that physical media is important. And if you subject yourself to a digital-only experience, you put yourself at risk of being cut off from any legal method of enjoying the things you enjoy down the road. Because as we've seen, digital services are not forever. You know, the Switch, the game shop for the 3DS got shut down. Or the DS got shut down. 3DS. It was the 3DS. The Nintendo eShop got shut down. You know, services for the Wii got shut down. The Wii U got shut down. Sooner or later, if you are on a platform where your only games are purely digital, sooner or later you will lose legal access to those games. Anybody who's thinking that the Switch 2 games library is going to be able to be downloaded forever, they are lying to themselves. They are fooling themselves. And yeah, physical game degradation is a thing. CDs and cartridges do break down after a few decades. It's true. That is a problem that exists. But I almost guarantee that I will be able to enjoy my physical cartridges far longer than a digital version of that game licensed to someone released that same year. In terms of, you know, if I bought a game physically versus bought it digitally, I'd be able to have the physical version for much longer. There's a bunch of other problems with digital-only gaming too, like updates. Gaming updates are a common thing now. There's new versions to every game on the market. There's just small fixes, bug fixes, etc. And for some games, these later changes can be drastic. And I'm going to use Bloodborne as an example. The Bloodborne that's on the disc is very different from the Bloodborne from the latest patch. And if you were somebody who wanted to play the original Bloodborne and you only had a digital copy, you couldn't. You can't just play the original version. You'd have to play the most recent update. It's a crazy thing to think about. You know, that you can buy something and lose access to it. That you can buy something and lose access to the original version of it. And I know that these companies don't use the term buy. They use the term licensing. You're paying a rental fee. And I just don't like that. I like being able to physically own the things that I'm spending money on. It's something that I've strongly believed in for a very long time. And I don't know. There's a few other problems with the Switch 2 as well. Like the whole digital renting thing. Ooh, I don't like that very much. But this video is getting long enough as it is, so I'm just going to say I'm not going to buy a Switch 2. It's not going to be added to my library anytime soon. Now, if one falls out of the sky into my lap, and you know, that's a different story. But for now, that's my update for the week and my little Switch rant at the end. Hope you guys enjoy what I have coming. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Ciao.